Gintama.
Gintama is a very different type of shonen. I'm glad it has the recognition and popularity it deserves, because it presents many aspects of reality and fiction in an original manner, while also staying true to some anime archetypes.
Yeah. You know, I get your point.
I love the premise of the series, to have feudal Japan invaded by aliens life forms instead of foreigners who bring advanced technology and combine the medieval society with the laws of the modern world.
And the towns where the samurai once walked are now filled with insolent and arrogant aliens who walk with more pride than the samurai ever did.
It is also a clever analogy to the Sakoku period, where the country isolated itself and the US Navy had to force open its borders for trade and political relationships.
It's been 20 years since national isolation was lifted. The Yamato began to travel here from far-off planets.
Here foreigners have an even more exotic and unique aesthetic, as different species and real-looking individuals. Gintama is mostly a comedy or a satire of modern civilization, with an action shonen spin on it.
I can only eat a parfait once a week. This was that one time!
It's pretty amazing how well the show manages to deliver on its ambitious premise. From the art style to the episodic and linear story, the anime really performs well with the mainstream audiences. At first I didn't understand the idea behind the comedy, and I was uninterested in the series.
Oh, I feel sick. Oh, my head is killing me. I can't sleep.
However, now that I'm a bit older and in college, I kinda see what the show is trying to communicate. It's a masterfully crafted piece of entertainment. It has its flaws, like any other shonen, but it stays true to its core and ideas.
But if you look on the bright side, you've earned yourself the right to fondle Otsu's boobs, since she will be frozen in place for all eternity.
The anime does not lose focus, and it's relying heavily on its characters to make for an engaging and fun experience. I like this clash of cultures and values. It makes for such an interesting setup for many allegories between the fantasy alternative reality and the technology-dominated world of the modern man.
Nowadays, even a stupid chimpanzee could do this job. You're a human being, and you've been working here for more than a year.
The main character is a perfect example of an individual struggling with his ideals, society, and way of life.
How dare you make me take the blame for what you did? Everything's a complete mess because of what you did!
On the surface, Gin ain't much of a philosopher, and yet the more you follow him around, you get to see traces of honor, determination, and even compassion towards the people he interacts with.
Come on. Don't you want to get the contract back?
Does that mean...
I am Oddjob's Gin.
Here's what makes this show so damn iconic and enjoyable. Gin is definitely one of the greatest anime characters ever made, and I can relate to him on a personal level.
He has a sweet tooth and high blood sugar, and he's kind of the main character of this show.
I'm also a dude who is mostly passive and a total lazy slob, gouging on sugar and avoiding paying bills and other responsibilities. It is so funny to have a degenerate as the protagonist of the story.
We don't have to pay rent anymore.
This isn't the time to be thinking about that, you idiot!
Gin is definitely not your typical shonen archetype. No dream of becoming Hokage or saving the girl from a faraway castle. Simply a lazy chill dude who intervenes at the proper moment and saves the day, like a complete badass.
Stop right there! I'm not finished with you! Shut up, you plebeian! I don't have time to waste on you! Just one kick, man!
I really appreciate the dumb look Gin has most of the time. I'm also walking around looking like a complete idiot. I can relate with his way of life and attitude towards his environment.
Your mind must be sharper than a sword.
I don't need advice from the idiot samurai who broke the world!
You've made some good points.
He has a strong build, and it's rather unusual to have such a buff and handsome main character in a shonen anime.
Oh yeah? Do you think that pushing me away is gonna make me happy? Here
Stop
we go.
blabbering,
That's it.
you
Just
idiot,
like
and
that.
do something with the
or...
A complete hottie reminds me of Ichigo from Bleach, only a bit more mundane and sociable. Also, it's a fortunate coincidence the anime is getting a dub right after I decided to give it a try. Watched the first 30 episodes in spring of last year, and I was only hoping for the English version to come out so I can properly enjoy the series.
I can see that you're angry, and I understand you want it now. I'll get you the rent and both my kidneys next month, so...
I need a dub version to enjoy an anime. This current version we're getting is kind of rough. I mean, it's not exactly bad, but they took some liberties with this adaptation, and some voice acting needs a bit of work.
This really sounds like an anime story. Do things like this befall you every week? Just finish the story!
You have to tell us what happened to you last week right now!
Gintama gets away with a lot of forceful jokes and references. It even talks about other media and characters as if aware they are part of a show.
This world is doomed! Episode 1 of a new season and we're doomed!
Shinpachi.
This is certainly a type of entertainment you have to like to appreciate this comedy.
It's just that was my big intro scene, so I got a little carried away.
They're doing way too many pop culture references. Like, so goddamn many of them. And it kinda gets tired and cliche.
It's incredibly easy. Clear your minds and you can look like John Cena.
We'll have nothing to eat, get anemia, and end up turning like those blue folks in Avatar! There he goes!
Jack Torrance? You're impersonating Jack Torrance from The Shining?
I want to know why can't my sword have a bankai?
This odd job skin business reminds me of the lifestyle of Dante from Devil May Cry. He is also a white-haired lazy moron who chooses and overpowers his enemies.
We'll take any case and any kind of job as long as we get paid. Because we are the ones who are known as Odd Jobs Gin!
I like Gin's perspective on money. He has no idea how to handle a business. And yet he still has employees, even though he's never paid them a penny.
The thing is, having no money is just a chronic condition. Like a nasal infection, you know what I mean? So get used to it.
He has a certain magnetism that attracts people and makes him likable despite the low effort he puts into anything he sets out to do. Now the first episodes are some kind of special. It has a quick sum up of who every character is for us to get an idea what the show is going to be about.
Shinpachi Shimura, who's too straight to get along with Ginzuki. He hopes of finding the samurai spirit here.
Basically, Gin and his gang taking weird jobs from anyone and trying their best to pay rent and not to starve to death.
Look at this! Take a look!
A bank account statement.
When it comes to the secondary characters, I say they only work because they have awesome person like Gin to interact with. This is where the anime did well, by making the protagonist such a unique individual, with no real superpowers aside laziness and tolerance to sugar.
All of this is because of you!
Anime can get rather boring, once the main character only increases in power and fights bigger and stronger opponents every single new story arc. Here's where Gin distinguishes himself from others and brings such a fresh and uncommon vibe to the shonen genre. A bit split in regard with Kagura. On one hand, she's the typical anime clueless girl with big eyes and a petite figure.
Now that I've become the guardian of time, don't think I'll let you perverts do as you please, Kay?
And yet there are certain aspects of her personality that didn't work with my taste. She's a bit too loud and ambitious for me to enjoy. Kagura has no manners and is always eating too much.
You can't fool me! You know you can't eat a bank account statement!
She screams and even picks her nose, which is unforgivable for an anime babe. She could have been a hot waifu, and yet her tramp behavior and eccentric personality makes me dislike her. Kagura does have some nice interactions with Gin, and one nothing special happens between them, as I see them as fitting individuals. The girl I appreciate the most from the Gintama series is Sarutobi Ayame. She's the classic horny chick who has a crush on the main character. Ayame is also some sort of ninja, and in my opinion, she should end up with Gin. I mean, she's pretty and willing to accept a total lazy degenerate like the main character as her mate. That is more than Gin can ever hope to have.
I can't even bear to think about sitting next to you at the diner.
Always so cold to me. And I'm used to it, but I don't give up so easily.
I like how sadistic and kinda kinky Ayame is. She has some weird reactions and crawls on the ground like a cat in heat.
That's it. That's it. Just keep blasting me away. You're really turning me on. Just a little more.
I don't like her beauty sign. It's just a personal preferences. But it kinda bothers me when people have signs on their face. When Kakashi finally took that mask off, I was really disappointed to see that mark on his chin. I see some cool scars than marks. But again, I guess it was placed on Ayame's face to increase her sex appeal. Looks sound with her MILF glasses. Yeah, she looks like a sexy nerdy girl who gets hot and bothered by the sight of pretty independent boys. Kinda like Karin from Naruto. She was also being naughty. She was also being naughty with Sasuke.
Then I'll go ahead and follow you.
What are you up to?
As I was saying, characters in Gintama are hit and miss, but they all work rather well within a story. and not a single one of them feels forced or relevant to the plot. I like this picture of the best Gintama girls. It's kinda sexy how they'll have their mouths open. Yeah, my favorite character from the show is Toshiro Hijikata.
Hijikata, Vice Chief of Shinsengumi, the Brain.
He reminds me a lot of Zoro from One Piece. He's a complete badass with his sword. Toshiro is also roughly the same height as me. I'm at a centimeter higher, and also brunette. Kinda see myself in him. He's also very confident and strong, something I admire and appreciate both in him and Gin.
That's just perfect. Let's go!